So, I don't know if I'm the only one, but when I have read a book in its digital version, let that be because I got it sent as a digital arc, because I used to only read digitally, audiobook, whatever. I'm always very tempted, first of all, to buy the book then, so that I had a physical copy myself, because I just like actually being able to grasp things. However, I never actually buy them, because I'm always like, well, I could spend my money on a book I haven't read yet, which I think sounds responsible. I just recently remembered that feeling, because my grandma got me The Secret History for Christmas, and she did that because this is one of my favorite books, and I never had a physical copy of it, because when I started reading, I read digitally. Now, that being said, some people might say this seems like a strategic way of me to hint at people that this is something they could gift me. No, this is not that. No, it's truly not. I have 5 books to talk to you about that very much I've read many books digitally, but these 5 books are really ones that I really wish I had a copy of, and the ones that always have me in the bookstore being like, do I do it? And I haven't yet. I might, because when I just looked these up, I found out that there is a huge sale going on. Anyway, there are also some of these books are books that I've read physically, but that I borrowed from friends or from the library or whatever. I'll say let's get into it. There are also a lot of books that I've read digitally that I do not want. Back in my early reading days, I've read some books that I now have no need for or want for. And then there are also some books that have gone missing from my bookshelves, but those are to blame on me lending them to my friends. If anyone wants a video on those, let me know. But these are the 5 books that if I had the spare money, which I don't, I would be buying. Now, the first one is actually part of a duology. That duology is the Threads That Bind duology by Kika Hatsupulo. And I love talking about this, so let me brag for a second. I had the absolute pleasure to work with Kika on the release of the second part. And it was an absolute blast. She's one of the sweetest and kindest people I've ever got to work with. And just being able to ask her questions about the books and get some inside scoop on things that normally readers would know was very fun and exciting. I'm very sad that I do not have a copy of the second one, because I absolutely loved it. I might have even loved it more than the first one. And this is indeed a YI duology, which I don't know if you've watched any of my other videos, but I usually don't read YA, which might seem funny considering that my last video was Percy Jackson related, but I usually read classics or literary fiction, and I found the Threads and Bind duology because I love Greek mythology, and that tells you one thing about me. I love Greek mythology, and this is why I picked these books up, and I ended up absolutely falling in love with Kika's writing style and the way she managed to put so many amazing storylines in there. And I truly think if you want to branch out from your own reading preference, this is a great book to start, because it has great romance in it, which I also don't read romance, but I really appreciate the romance in here. It has queer characters, it's Greek mythology, it's powerful female main characters. That's That Bind, and I won't tell you much about the book that I actually want, because I just don't want to give anything away if you haven't read the first one. But the second one is called Hearts That Cut. I just had to change my battery, and then I checked on where the footage left off, and then I noticed that it looks like I'm naked under my cardigan, which I don't know if you can see it now, but I am wearing a shirt. The main protagonists of this duology are the reincarnations, the reimagined version of the Greek fates, which are the little 3 old, usually depicted as old ladies, who decide everyone's future by cutting threads and shaping threads and weaving threads. And it's a wonderful story. Focuses on soulmates, their love that's very present, and sisterhood, and it's very beautifully done, very inclusive, and I have a lot of love for this duology. And I think I might, just because it's really not that expensive right now, have to order the second one, because the first one just looks so sad without its partner. And that's the first book that I really wish I had on my shelf. If you're interested in any of the things I just said, give this one a try. Now, the second one, I also got sent. This one I got sent on NetGalley, and it's Fragile Animals by Genevieve Jagger. And God, did I enjoy this book. And it's so me, and the cover's gorgeous, and I'm just... I've never seen this in a bookstore, I think. At least I don't remember seeing it ever. But I just really wish I had it, because it's pretty, and I really enjoyed it, and it just would make so much sense for me to have it, and I think I would really like to reread it at some point in time, because I think I always understand more and remember more if I have a physical copy of it. Let me tell you about Fragile Animals. Struggling to deal with the trauma of her Catholic upbringing, Noelle travels to the Isle of Beauty. She meets a man who claims to be a vampire, and a relationship blooms between them based solely on confession. Noelle becomes haunted by memories of her past. I just remember that when I read this, I just really thought to myself, oh, the girls are gonna love this. It has some hints at a possible vampire. It's very weird and complex. It has some sapphic undertones. It has queer and Catholic guilt, and I just thought the prose was really great, and I really wish I had this on my shelf, because I did have a great time reading this. If you've watched any of my videos, or you know me personally, I talk about this author and this book so much at this point. Fan behavior. And I will proudly proclaim myself a fan of this author, because it's Claire Keegan. I had the privilege of being introduced to Claire Keegan via one of my closest friends, and they gave me this book called Small Things Like These, and I didn't know anything about it going into it. I didn't know of Claire Keegan a lot, and I just read it and I absolutely fell in love, and it was such a special and wonderful experience that I've held this book very close to my heart ever since. And I just recently filmed a video talking about the adaptation of this, which I also really enjoyed, and there's just so much love I have for this book. And I also, while reading it, annotated it, and it just was so much fun. And I love that the copy is with its original owner, the friend that lended it to me. It just feels very special. So I don't want that copy, even though great time annotating and reading it, but I really want my friend to have that. So I don't have one, and I'm also noticing it's on sale right now, so I'm broke. Don't even think about buying it. But Claire Keegan writes these beautiful shorter stories, pretty much always surround one person, and a very quite powerful story. And Small Things Like These is just like that. Small Things Like These follows Bill Furlong, and I think it's set in the 80s in Ireland. And he's this very sweet and caring father figure, and he's a coal and timber merchant, and during one of those trips to deliver coal to one of the local churches, he finds out how horrible the women and young girls are being treated there, and the story unfolds from there on, and it's very beautiful and very important storytelling, and I have a lot of love and appreciation for Claire Keegan's writing. She just captured it all so emotionally but beautiful, and it's a very heartbreaking but tender and gentle story. I love it a lot. And I really wish I had it. It wouldn't even make that big of a difference, because they're very small stories, but I have all of her other books except for, what's it called, Antarctica, something like that, with the little white cat on it. Yeah, that's the only one I haven't read yet, but the other ones are all on my shelf, and I really wish I had the complete collection. And the same friend that lended me Small Things Like These also lended me Tin Man, because they had a really emotional experience reading Tin Man, for several reasons, of course, and they just know my reading taste pretty well. And I loved Tin Man so much. I have a huge love for queer literature in general, and Tin Man is obviously that as well. And I just really liked the storyline. And there's a beautiful copy, it's probably up on the screen, that I really love, and I really want Tin Man, because I have a queer literary fiction shelf, and it's missing from there. It's so annoying, and whenever I see it in the bookstores, and it usually is the copy that I adore so much, I'm like, but I always tell myself, because I'm like, I've already read it, but yet I still want it. Let me tell you about Tin Man. I'm probably going to read you the synopsis because I'm scared I don't remember it correctly, which is not to be blamed on it not being good, it's to be blamed on my shitty memory. This is almost a love story, but it's not as simple as that. It begins with two boys, Alice and Michael, who are inseparable, and the boys become men, and then Annie walks into their lives, and it changes nothing and everything. That just made me want to reread it. It's such a great book! I cried my eyes out reading this, and I just had a wonderful experience, and I'm just so thankful for that friend, because they've handed me some brilliant books that I really admire. And then we have one more book, and this is really an exciting one because I got this sent as an ARC on NetGalley, and it's even more exciting because it's by an author that I really adore. I think it's not in the short, but I read, I think it was in September or October, I read My Darling Dreadful Thing by Johanna van Veen. And I had such a great time. She writes these beautiful gothic tales, and this is her newest one. I think it's being released next week or the week after, and a book being released next week just scared me because I just remembered Sunrise on the Reaping coming out, which, anyone want a reading vlog? Anyway, her next novel that's being published is called Blood on Her Tongue, and I have not yet finished it, and I will today, but it's just very exciting because I already love it a lot. I just yesterday talked to a friend about it because it's on my mind, obviously because I'm reading it right now, but also because I just like it so much. And if you know anything about me, it's also not on camera, but I love vampires. I have a whole shelf dedicated to it, and my goal in life is to read as many vampire books as I can, and I'm slacking, but this is a new addition to that, and I'm so grateful that I get to read it before the release. I did say the title already. It's a beaut. Can we take a moment for this cover? Oh my god. I'm gonna try to sum it up just by what I already know, but I also don't want to give too much away. But this is a gothic vampire story. It's sapphic, it's supernatural, it's paranormal, it's eerie, it's scary, it's disgusting, and it's absolutely wonderful. This is set in the 1800s in the Netherlands, which is super fun. And not fun, but it's cool to read about. And it follows Lucy and her twin sister Sarah. And let's just say Sarah goes through a lot. Lucy comes back home to her sister because she's been told that she's very ill and people are thinking that she's going to die. And then Lucy just starts noticing all these weird and paranormal things happening with and around her sister. And while all of that is happening and Lucy's taking care of her sister and many other things happen, there's also a lot of secrets and drama happening around them, and it's very dark and moody and just very creepy. It features a bog body, which a lot of great novels do, a lot of gothic novels. And it's just really great. I love Johanna van Veen's writing style, which is why I want to read you a quote. Am I allowed to do that? Not me, acting like I'm special, but am I allowed to read you a quote from a book that's not released? I'm halfway through the book, by the way, and just, this is a hopeful good read, because if this ends up being shit, which I really don't think so, because Johanna van Veen's ending are fabulous, it would be embarrassing if I have put this in the video and then I actually don't end up liking it, but this is how much I believe in this book. Just to let you know. If sapphic vampire stories interest you, or sisterly love, this is for you, I guess. Actually, you know what? I will read you a quote, and this is probably never, not a lot of you watch my videos, so it's fine. And the quote, oh, she just writes so beautiful. It's my favorite yet. How horrifying. Is there anything more dangerous to a woman than to be beautiful when weeping, Lucy thought. Those are all the books. There are plenty of more books that I wish I had on my shelves. Secret History is one of the first that I've actually now own after reading it online. And I'm just really glad that I finally managed to make a video like this, because I think it's an interesting thing to think about. Just because these are really truly books that I really wish I had, and that's saying a lot because I did already read them. That's that. I'm not a big fan of having 2 copies of a book, or having like, to each your own, but having like special copies of one of the same books, like buying multiple versions. Not the biggest fan. I love buying books secondhand, so that's says a lot, I think. But also, I do have multiple copies of Dracula, so maybe I should shut up. Let me know if you can relate. First of all, maybe no one can relate to this problem. I hope not. But let me know if you do, and if there's any specific books that are part of this, especially. And yeah, I'll let you know if I end up buying any of these anytime soon. The big sale going on right now is tempting, to say the least. See you next time. That's it. I should stop talking. Goodbye.